Well, happy Thursday to you. Chris Hare here, the world champion crypto cowboy. Got a special guest hiding back here in the background. That is the one and only Leisure Fish from the crypto school. We're going to put him in a video tomorrow, so stick around. You're going to want to see that. But we're going to talk about Bitcoin again tonight. It's crashing. Is it ever going to end? We're going to break it down tonight. We're going to start all the way at the hourly chart. Take a look at what I think might be a bottom. Then we're going to go on out to that weekly chart, figure out exactly where we're going and how we're going to get there. But I am a world champion rodeo cowboy in the team roping and the mounted shooting events. And I'm taking the strategies and the discipline that I've learned and used to achieve those world titles, bringing them right here to the crypto desk, and I'm going to make y'all world champion crypto traders. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Start off with the crypto fear and greed index, just like we do every single night. It's currently at a 15, so we came up about 5 points from yesterday. I think we were at a 10. And this measures market sentiment. It tells us if people are scared, if they're greedy. And right now, people are still scared to death. It's came up a little bit, so that's pretty good. But what I also use this for is I make small spot purchases when we drop down into fear, and I buy a little more in extreme fear. And it's worked pretty well for me. I buy it, I sit on it, basically forget about it. And then when we get to greed, I sell it off, and it's usually in profit. But I'll go ahead and show you on this BitUnex exchange. Now we're up to about 75 a piece on Ethereum and Solana. I think we started with 60 bucks and we've just bought as it came down. Also bought a little bit of Bitcoin the other day just because I buy Bitcoin if we're under 100,000. It just makes sense to me. But Bitcoin's down about 6%, Solana, ETH's down 15%, and Solana's down about 10%, 12%. But we'll keep up with it. We'll see what happens. And if you need an exchange to trade on, don't forget to check out that link to BitUnex in my description. I think you get a little cash back on your first time deposit, and you get a little better fees on your trading, and there's no KYC, so you don't have to share any of your personal information. Moving on to a liquidation heat map for Bitcoin. We'll go ahead and look at the weekly chart on this. This is what market makers use to track your liquidity. They don't care about TA. They don't care about smart money concepts. All they care about is where your liquidation points are, and they move the charts to go grab them. That's how the charts get drawn. Everything above price action is a short trade. Everything below price action is a long trade. And you can see there's about not any long trades left. I think we may be at a local bottom, guys, but we're going to break it down in the charts. But cumulatively, we've got $3.75 billion worth of short trades to liquidate. To the long side, we've only got 173 million, guys. There is nothing left. But you can see there's bright pockets of liquidity around 93,000. There's another one at 94. And then from 99 to 100,000, there is a ton of liquidations to grab. We'll get into the charts. We'll figure out what's going on. We'll start off with the Bitcoin on the 1 hour. You'll find all these charts in the crypto school. I post them there every night. I post signals as the need arises. We've made some pretty good money over the past couple of weeks. But for about the past 5 days, we have just sat. There just hasn't been anything that I wanted to trade. But looking at the Bitcoin 1 hour chart, I think we can look at a local bottom. We've fully extended on this last move. If you follow Elliott wave theory, we've completed the corrective consolidation pattern we've been in. We just lost the weekly 50 smooth moving average, but we are trying to reclaim it. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the RSIs on this tonight because you can see we dropped down into oversold all the way to 22, and now we're all the way up to a 30 with the RSI pointed up. Things are kind of looking bullish. That would be bullish divergence. So it begs the question of what happens next. Well, if we can go ahead and move here from the bottom, we're at the bottom of this parallel channel as well. It looks like we might be able to come down to 84.5, but that's yet to be seen. If we can bounce from here and go on up, your next stops are going to be right around in this first golden zone. That's 89,000 to 90,000. That's where your 50 moving averages sits. That takes 50 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, works as excellent support or resistance. Get above these 50s. Then we're headed to the upward golden zones, 91 to 93,000. Then on up to 99 to about 102,000. That's where the liquidations kind of ran out. So we'll need to watch this closely if that is a rejection point, or if we're going to come back in, do a retest maybe on this 200 smooth moving average, and move on up and try to retest this weekly 50, then on up to the daily 50. Moving out to the 4 hour charts, you'll see kind of what's going on and what, if we do have any downside, where it is. Those big bearish fair value gaps are a point of concern. I'm going to turn smart money concepts off so we can see this a little better. But you can see that bottom should be here about 84.9 on this run down. But I think if we can't close above this weekly 50, we might consolidate through here. Go ahead and get down to these 4-hour extensions, about $83,000 to $80,000. That would be my next downside target. But if we can reclaim this weekly 50 smooth moving average, we're headed up to this 4-hour retracement zone, somewhere around $87,000 to $88,000. Your next stops are going to be your 4-hour 50s. They're going to sit here and probably be around $93,000, $94,000. Then the top of your channel sits at $97,000 to $100,000. The question remains, do we reject off of this, or do we break up above it, find support, go ahead and try to test out this week, retest this weekly 50 smooth moving, simple moving average. You can see we fell out of this pennant, and it'll show up better on the higher time frames, but it lines up right in this golden zone. So that's why I kind of think we might reject here. Since we've lost it, it's going to need to retest, and then it may come on back down. But if we can get above this 4-hour golden zone, get above the weekly 50, get above the daily 50 smooth moving average, your next targets are 109 to 116. Moving out on the daily, give you a better understanding of what's going on. I left the RSIs, the stochastics on, the cipher on, because you can see we are completely oversold on the daily. We're at 24 on the RSI. The stochastic RSI is all the way down to a 2. I just feel like we've got to come up at some point, guys, and if we're going to, this is probably the place we're going to do it. You can see we lost that daily retracement zone. We're sitting on the weekly 50 smooth moving average. There is a bullish order block here, so we could come down a little farther into this, but then I think at some point you've got to go up, even if you go to 87, 88,000, where this bearish fair value gap is. But if we turn that off and look at Fibonacci's, we'll kind of see what's going on there. The top of the 618 sits here at about 94,650. That begs the question, do we reject there, or do we close above it, keep going, go on up to this weekly 50? You can see how this pennant kind of falls in there. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of uncertainty, especially around $92,000 to $93,000. I hate to go beyond that right now, but if we do, your weekly 50 sits at 102.7. Your daily 50 simple smooth moving average sits at 108. On up from there, your weekly golden zone, your daily golden zone, sits at 113 to 118. If you come up to here, I really get concerned on whether you go on up or not. If we're in a bear market, we're going to reject from here or somewhere before there. But if we close above it and there's still a little bit left in this bull market, you're going to head up. 135 to 146 would be your daily extensions. Then I would think we were probably done. Moving out to the weekly chart kind of validates what I'm talking about. You can see we're testing out that weekly 50 smooth moving average right there. There is a fair value gap that sits down here at 79.7 to about $73,000. There's also a daily fair value gap. I know that says 5-day, but it's actually a 3-day. That could serve as a bounce point as well. But if you follow Elliott wave theory, this is wave 1, 2. This was all wave 3 of a 5-wave move. So what I'm saying is you're probably going to get a bounce here. The bounce cannot go above the top of wave 1, which sits at about $107,000. So what I feel like you're going to do is you're going to come up, you're going to at least retest 94,000. The way the liquidity is, I think we're coming up to a $98,000 to $100,000. Then we reject, and then we come back down and try to find something around $70,000 to $75,000. So that's where I am right now. That's kind of what my thinking is. I know it's clear as mud. I hope this is the local bottom and at least give us some kind of relief. But it may not be. We may just go ahead and reject. We may go on head on down. I think that $74,000 definitely is worth looking at, because if we get much lower, then we're talking about $60,000 to $40,000, and I'm not ready to have that. But I hope that gives you a pretty good understanding of everything that's going on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tap the bell notification. You'll get updates as soon as we upload a video, and leave us a comment. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and I really enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. And tomorrow night, or tomorrow, sometime, I don't know, sometime during the day, this guy right behind me, Leisurefish, he's going to show his face, and we're going to do a video together. You're not going to want to miss it. So hit that bell notification so you get notified as soon as we drop the video. And I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to spend some time with Fish here this evening. We're going to talk about charts and kind of what we're going to do over the weekend. But I'm Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you down the road.